Hi everybody, welcome back to Mando Lessons. This is the wrap-up for the beginner series, lesson series over at mandolessons.com. And I just kind of wanted to wrap up the series and kind of throw out a few ideas for you. Not going to be a whole lot of playing in this little quick lesson, but I just wanted to point out some things that I think are important when it comes to sort of learning to play an instrument and working on everything that comes with it. So, as if you've been watching this series, I've gone from sort of holding the instrument and having proper technique in your whole kind of body and left and right arms and pick technique and left hand technique through learning chords, scales, learning to kind of sing along with some melodies and using singing as a tool, learning to play some scales, I might have already said that one, and playing some tunes. So, I think one thing that's really important when it comes to sort of learning to play an instrument, number one thing I always tell my students is that you got to keep it fun. If music is fun for you, you're going to want to play. It's going to be you're going to really be drawn to playing. And if a lot of people kind of cringe at the idea of practice, and I'm sort of one of them, because practice can kind of come with some kind of bad associations of, locking yourself up in a room and making yourself play for hours and hours on end. And that's really not what music's about. Music's about having fun, learning to play, and getting to play with other people. So in terms of sort of setting up a practice regime for yourself, again, keep it fun. And if at any point you're saying, I'm not having fun, at that point, right away, just put the instrument down and don't worry about it. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to want to do it, and you're not going to get any better. But if you can even pick up the instrument for 5 minutes a day, that's much better than sort of putting it all off until the weekend and saying, okay, I didn't get to play all week, so now I'm going to play for 2 hours. So in one sitting this weekend, because that's really it's gonna put some pressure on you to sort of do it all at once, and that's no way to learn, because it's not going to be as fun, and B, I don't think 2 hours once a week is as good as even 5 minutes once a day. There's some certain part of learning to play an instrument that really just requires kind of a little bit of consistency, and I know everybody's got busy schedules, but even if you can just pick up the instrument, what I do is I find a nice safe place that is either in the case of the instrument or out somewhere where no one's going to knock it over or sit on it or anything like that. It's right next to my desk, and it really just it looks at me all day, and I say, ooh, I want to play that, and I'll pick it up for 60 seconds or 2 minutes or not long at all, and it just sort of gets the instrument in my hand and gets me comfortable with playing around, and then there's no pressure, put it back down, go back to answering emails and everything else that you have to do in a day. And even just those little moments of practice are going to be really helpful for you versus, forgetting everything that you've been working on since last weekend when you played for 2 hours and kind of forced yourself to do it, and then doing the same thing next weekend. It's really it's going to slow you down. It's not going to be nearly as fun. So little sections is a huge help in terms of sort of setting up a practice regime. And even if it's 60 seconds a couple times a day, really don't pressure yourself to play any specific amount of time. Just have fun with it, and the second you have something else to do or you're not having fun anymore, just go and do that, and don't think a second about it, because keeping it fun is the way to go. Can't stress that enough. Again, sort of with technique, just having in the back of your mind, like, how's my whole sort of upper body and my arms? Is anything feeling stressed out? One of the main reasons that I made this beginner series is that thinking about the basics just for myself is one of the most sort of important things for me to really kind of go back and reestablish the fundamentals. So even if you're not a beginner, I've been recommending that you watch this just to, kind of get these ideas back in your head. Once you get to more advanced techniques, it's easy to sort of bring out the new stuff every time and never really go back and say, oh, but how's my posture? How's my sort of picking technique? And I've found some of the greatest advancements in my own playing is from learning to teach and sort of having to go back and analyze what I'm doing sort of with my body posture and how I play, and also really kind of slowing things down and working back up from the basics is really a great way to fill in some of the gaps that you'll inevitably create by sort of moving on to more advanced material. So those are just a couple ideas of things to keep your mind on. Another really important thing is to, if you can, find some folks to play with. Music is best when played with other people. It's a really special thing, and a lot of places will have places to go and either play beginner sessions, or if you're more advanced, to go find a traditional music session, whether it's Irish or bluegrass or whatever your interest is. Or if you know someone else that's learning to play, whether it's a mandolin or a guitar or a fiddle or whatever it may be, just meet up with them and get some music going, because it can be a little monotonous just to sort of play on your own all the time. And I know it can be a scary thing to play with other folks, but if you can find someone who's sort of at the same level as you, or near the same level, or someone who's patient and willing to play along with you, or if you're at a more advanced level and feel like helping out somebody that's just getting going, that's always really, really wonderful from the sort of learner's perspective, to have someone to play along with, because it's a lot more fun than just sitting in your room and practicing your tunes and your scales, because the real magic of music is what happens when you get two musicians together or more, a whole room full of them maybe, and really just kind of getting all those sounds moving around. There's often, as I said, try to find music in your area, folk music or whatever music you're interested in. Musicians are a generally friendly bunch, so you might be a little shy, but just kind of get out there and try to find that music, and it'll really help your playing. I learned by going to a bluegrass festival here in Maine, and I knew a G chord, a C chord, and a D chord, and maybe a G scale. And I would just walk around. Bluegrass festivals are notorious for having people just kind of out in the parking lot and in the field picking. And I would wander around, kind of listen into what people are doing in their little circles, and I would say, does this sound like they're playing in the key of G? And I go, oh, no, that's not in the key of G, and key of G is all I know, so I'm going to move on and go find somewhere else. And then once I found someone that was playing in the key of G, I'd go, oh, okay, and I'd kind of stand at the back of the circle and kind of strum along lightly. And once I figured out what the chords were doing, you could be a little more assertive. Don't try to take over the jam or anything, but just kind of find some folks to play around with. And there's bluegrass festivals all over the country, and old time festivals and kind of everything. A lot of this music's out there. If you're looking for music in your area, I recommend checking out mandolincafe.com, not mandolessons.com. And there's a whole section on their forum about places to meet up and play music, and you can always ask questions over in their forum. It's a great group of really knowledgeable, friendly folks. And just say, hey, I live in such and such an area. Do you know of anything where I can play? And there's probably someone on there. There's thousands of people on that website, and they'll probably know someone that can and hook you up with somewhere to go out and play the music you've been practicing. And that'll really make things a lot more fun for you and really accelerate your learning. So those are just a couple ideas about ways to keep going and having fun with it. I'll be doing a intermediate lesson series at some point, so keep an eye out on mandolessons.com for that. And again, thanks for watching. I hope this has kind of gotten you going, and you're having fun playing music, because it's a great little instrument, nice and portable, nice and kind of can play the chords and melody, and it really is a versatile instrument that works in a lot of settings. So go find some folks to play with, and keep working and keep playing and having fun. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed these lessons. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.